Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Before we get started on today's video, I just want to remind you that if you do like this content, maybe consider giving me this video a thumbs up. It helps the algorithm and it helps the channel grow because the easier it is to please the algorithm, easier it is to get this video in front of other people, and easier it is for me to move on to bigger, better projects. Thanks for listening. Today is the day. I've been saying it, I think, for like the last 2 or 3 videos that hopefully we'll eventually get to some stainless. Well, today is the day. Now what we're trying to do is we're making a downpipe for the car back here. If you don't know what's going on, I'll put the playlist like right here, wherever, like up in the corner. First things we got to do is we need to break out all of the welding equipment. Now if you remember, we ended up having to buy some special cups and equipment. Number one was this Furic adapter for 17 torch, which is what I have. And then we also got some Jazzy 10 cups. Remember I said it was marvelous, because they are marvelous. We got to get these figured out and installed so we can get running. So we got 2 different things for practicing that we're going to use, hopefully all of it tonight, or some of it, and get started on making the downpipe. But to start, we've got these nice beefy coupons. These are like 1/8 inch thick. They're pretty beefy, and they're not far from what we're going to be welding. The other thing we got is, this is a little bit different. This isn't a coupon per se, but these are 6 pieces of equally sized square pieces, and the idea of this is to build a cube. So that's kind of the idea. I think what I want to do is, they also make kits like this where they make them into dice. I think I want to make a dice out of this. So maybe when we get to the point, I'll drill a hole in the center of one of these, as A, a relief, and B, I just think it'd be pretty cool. We're gonna start working through these and figuring it out, because welding stainless is quite different than welding aluminum, and that's all I have experience in, and even that, the only thing we did was our charge pipe. Probably need to throw down some practice in the DC range before we start committing. I'd hate to commit and then it's all gray or sugared or whatever. First thing we gotta do to get started is we gotta get our cup swapped out for a torch. This, I think, is a 7. It's a number 7 ceramic cup. This is the collet body and collet. So our collet here, we're definitely starting to turn colors. If I hold this in the middle, you'll see it's big, the bronze out of it. And then same with our collet body here. It's definitely seen some better days. So we have a wedge collet here, and this goes in through the back of this guy here. Before we do that, we need to acknowledge this cap. This cap comes off, and one of these 2 is supposed to fit, probably this guy right there, and then this is gonna go in like so. So from here, this just gets screwed in. So it's got this nice screen in there that'll help distribute argon. Okay, so this part needs to be somewhat tight, so that way it doesn't want to back off. These O-rings over this right here, and then from here you can take your cup, just like that. Okay, so what are we doing here? What was the purpose of that? Well, simply put, when you compare that hole to this hole, you're gonna see one of these is bigger than the other. And what that's gonna allow for is more argon flow. That's important. You want it to disperse more. Now, when you start to get in bigger pipes and bigger things, a lot of guys use a little bit bigger cup than this. I didn't want to go too crazy because I don't know exactly 100% what we're doing. And honestly, a number 10 is just a little bit bigger than a 12, or I'm sorry, a little bit bigger than a 7, and it was affordable. That's kind of a big one. So this is a dirty piece of tungsten. The idea here is that guy just goes in there, and then now we can take this. Now, what this enables us to do is to do a little bit more of a stick out. Now when you have a 12, you get a lot more stick out because you can get a lot more gas coverage back and forth and whatever, and you can get a lot more down the pipe if you're doing a large diameter pipe. For me, that's what we're probably going to be able to get. That's kind of what we're shooting for right now, and this should be able to do this all freaking day long on TIG. Now, for the uninitiated who don't know exactly what we're doing with this little pokey thing, when you normally weld with something that's like this guy, like this, you can only stick out about that far. Like literally, it's 3/32 of an inch, or whatever your tungsten is. It's usually what you're limited to with stuff like this, the whatever stuff without a gas lens. This, because it has more of a like a spread out property, you're able to get a little bit out, and the bigger the cup, the more you can do it. Obviously you have to increase your gas flow and stuff, but that's kind of obvious, or kind of to be expected. Guys who do like crazy joints on pipes, when they run like a 12, they're like this. They're way out there, and it makes everything, it changes how you weld. According to my welder, for stainless steel that is 16 gauge, I will be 70 to 85 amps max. We will see what happens when we start to get going. We're set up now. We have all the stuff we need. I'm gonna take all the rest of this equipment, or this hardware I have, and we're gonna put it in our little welder box so we don't lose it, because I have a tendency to lose shit very easily. So, game plan. Let's talk about what it is we're doing. This is stainless. We're gonna weld on it. Not much more game plan. We need to clean it. We need to brush it. The normal. First things first, we gotta get filament or filament. We need to get titanium. Damn it, tungsten. We need to put a tungsten in the torch. All right, so it's now Saturday. It's the next day. Let's review. So we could tell that some of these are not bad, but you could also tell that they're kind of bad. So if you don't know anything about welding, there's a couple things that I'd like to point out to you. Okay, so this guy right here, this is the weld itself. Dabbing's inconsistent, so it's like really tight right here and then it gets really fat right here. That's not even the major problem here. More importantly, if you look, this zone out here is crazy. Crazy fat. This shouldn't be this wide, and it also shouldn't be this color. So if we're gonna talk about the color, this one, like from here out, is decent, but this is cooked here. All this plate here is just freaking roasted, and that was at 65, or what was that? No, it wasn't 65. That was like 80 amps. So there's a reason I'm not still going, and that is because my filler rod that I have is this 3/32. This is as fat as my tungsten. For what I'm going to be doing, I'm going to need something that's a little bit thinner, because the problem I keep having is every time I dab this into my puddle, it sticks. So every time I put in a little bit, it cools the puddle and it makes it hard again. And I'm obviously, so if you're running hot already, and then you're doing this and you're sticking, you're too far from where you should be. So how do we fix this? One, we use less amperage, and two, we get a smaller filler rod. So filler rod's ordered. I probably could have gone and picked it up from Vern Lewis today, but it's on the way. Let's just let it go. What we're gonna try and do in the meantime is we're gonna hop under the car and we're gonna see how elbows, angles, and then maybe even set up the bandsaw so we can be in preparation for tomorrow when the fill the rod will show up. Okay, so we kind of did this up on this on the top side. I think we're gonna do it again at some point, probably after we do the under. I want to see what the underside looks like because that's the only factor I'm not aware of. So we're gonna go under and we're gonna go take this and see how we can kind of get it in the right direction and start working our way up. If I come a little closer to you guys, I should be able to see some kind of path here. I see the turbo. That's gonna come down 90-ish. It's gonna come over this, and then it's gonna go up and out that way. And then this is gonna kind of just, I mean, we have a lot of room here. Alright, so tape measure. I want to see what kind of length we got here. 11 and a half, 11. I'm gonna say 11 right there. Okay, and then up and out, kind of up and over with that 45, and then up, whatever the difference is, to the 90. Okay, so let's go play around outside of the car. So the idea is that, so we're gonna come out of the turbo, turn 90, and start heading down towards the exit. We gotta go over that trans mount, right? So we've got our 45 then, so it comes 90 out, turns down, comes down here, and then it goes down and out 11 inches to that flange, more or less. This is kind of that piece. This is the unknown part right here. We probably have to pie cut this a little bit one way or the other to like either get it more like this or more like this. My bet is it's gonna be more like this, which isn't a problem. We have tools to do that now. That's the real question is where do we start? It's kind of a hard challenge. So the turbo piece is also a huge challenge in itself, because it's kind of like a chicken and egg situation. Your manifold's in the way, but your manifold's what dictates the placement of the turbo, so therefore everything's kind of just whatever. So we're gonna see if maybe we can fit the 90 in there again, and now that we've got the flange and everything too, and really kind of get to see how tight it is. All right, it's gonna be very hard visualization, I think, because we both have to be in the same place to really see it. And it's already hitting at that distance. So we gotta immediately chop a leg off this. Immediately. I'm already gonna tell you, it's the wrong fucking flange. Yep, wrong fucking flange. Bitchin'. This is my face right now. This sucks. I need a flange. I don't have the flange. And really don't want to work from the down bottom side up. And I don't know if I'm gonna have a part in any amount of time frame that makes this video make sense. So, and unfortunately that also means I don't have a whole lot to do. Shit. Right now we're printing a test sample for the bezels for the gauges because I'm trying to get, I want to do trick shit. I want to make cool things, and I want to make a gauge that's not just, right now it doesn't fit in the HVAC slot anyway, so I'm making a trick gauge holder. And in order to do that, it's going to take a test sample. So we're going to do a test sample, and then we'll check it, and then we'll do all of our wiring. We'll finish up our wiring, because I think at this point the car is ready to run and drive. Just need the downpipe. Annoying. Get that going. So I'm going to take a short break, and then we'll get busy. Alright, so a little update. It's been a few days, as usual. let's go over this welding stuff one more time. Now that we have 16th inch rod, or what do they call it, 054 or 045, or what's the, anyways, 1.6 mil rod. And we also, this is the part that I was kind of waiting on. I kind of told myself I was going to take a little break until everything was back in so we can get a full run at this again. 2.5 inch stainless flange. So this is our 2.5 inch internal diameter 4-bolt stainless flange. So now once we get rolling here in a flow, we can actually start excelling. So let's talk about where we are with this hot mess, literally. All right, so if you look at the profile of the welds, they're very wormy, which means they're not sinking in properly. In most welding terms, most welders will go, ooh, that's cold, that's a cold weld, more amps. Well, not really. The problem that we were having there was that every time I added 3/32 rod, the pool would cool down significantly and it would just build up. It wouldn't flow in. So that's why we ordered the 16th. So we need to kill our amperage down so we stop frying the part, move quicker, and use less fill. So now that we got our 16th inch rod, let's see if we can do some practice and kill it. This ain't gonna happen tonight. I need to be able to at least have some decent looking stuff by the time I'm ready to weld this downpipe. But now I'm out of metal, so I gotta order metal. I got money for metal. I'm frustrated. I hate learning new shit because it's like, it's a pain. It is like the hardest thing in the world to just like even just tacking that box together was a pain. Obviously, I got the motion of everything doing all right, but it's like it has to be like 5 times faster, which isn't there, which means I just need to practice more, and I know that. But there's also still something else that's weird, because if I add more juice to the welder, it cooks it faster. But if I take it away, it takes too long to establish a puddle, and it's still cooking. So it's like, how do I keep it from cooking without dealing with the rest of it? So it's kind of a no-win situation. So I just got to go study some more and figure out what settings to start at. I think the big problem is that like when you deal with aluminum, you don't have to worry about half of this. It's not as sensitive to burn. You know, you can get a hot and whatever, but it's not going to be like, oh, part smoked because of it. So trying to do it right, trying to do it the way that I'm being told to do it, and I'm not getting the same results. So I got to go review everything, figure out what everybody kind of recommends for starting for this kind of stuff, and go from there. Problem is I don't know if that exists, so I might have to go do some weld coach stuff. But either way, I digress. I'm going to do some more research and stuff like that and see if I can figure out what the hell I'm doing wrong. I mean, some of these came out looking pretty dope. Like this guy right here. He looks pretty good for the most of it, you know, and some of these, they got kind of the right situation, but that is not good. That's not good. The best one I got is that one right there. The one in the groove. But even that started terrible, and then that whatever goop happened at the end is just meh. So I'm super flustered on this stainless crap right now. So before I even touch the stuff that I need to weld, before we even get there, we need to at least get to the point where we're not baking things. Because this ain't a cooking class. We're not baking our metals. It's a lot. It's a lot to deal with. So I'm gonna. You hear it tinking over there. It's mocking me now. I'm going to look into some metal. See how much it's gonna cost to get some metal. Maybe I can, you know, figure that out. And hopefully in the next one we'll be a little bit closer to making this damn downpipe, because God, it's frustrating. So anyways, we'll catch you in the next one. Thanks for watching. Later.